All right. Let's continue our mini lessons. Guys, remember in a product backlog table, we said we're going to focus on two last columns. We covered the fourth column, which was about prioritization, okay? Now we know which user stories are more important and need to be prioritized and worked on first. Now, from now on, we're going to focus on estimating techniques. The last column of product backlog for each user story was number of story points. What is the story points? The efforts required or needed to build that user story. We show the efforts by number, by assigning some numbers. Now, one of the main techniques to estimate the efforts and story points is planning poker. Yeah, you heard it right. Planning poker, the game poker. But how it works, guys? So here, Scrum Master facilitates a meeting. Product owner is in that meeting and development team is in that meeting, not stakeholders. Stakeholders are enough. We don't invite them into other meetings, okay? In this meeting, we need Scrum Master, PO, and the development team. Now, to each member of development team, it could be 3 people, 12 people, it really depends on type of project. And to each team member, we give 7 cards, 7 or more cards, okay? Now, each of those cards has a number on it. The cards are 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. Fibonacci numbers, guys. So each card represents a number there. Now, Scrum Master reads the user story. Okay. For example, a Scrum Master reads user story number 1, which is, as a patient, I want to book appointments online, so I don't need to call the hospital. Now, asks the team members, hey, team members, do you have a question, a clarifying question about this user story from product owner? We have product owner to answer the questions. Why? Because product owner is voice of customer. Product owner knows exactly what is the purpose of that user story. Now, if that user story is still somehow vague, team members, before assigning numbers, could ask some clarifying questions and product owner could clarify the user story. Now, once the clarification is done, Scrum Master asks each team member, hey, team members, now with your cards on your hand, show the story points you want to assign to this user story. How difficult this user story is to develop and build. Are there lots of complexities and technicals and risk involved with that user story? If that's the case, like assign higher number, like 8, like 21. And guys, remember, the first number is always will be used as a reference point. For user story number 1, if we assign 8, now for user story number 2, we compare the complexity, the difficulty, the effort required for user story number 2. We compare it with user story number 1. If it is more difficult, we assign higher number. Like after 8 is 13. If it is less difficult, we hire lower number. The lower number before 8 is 5. And if it has the same difficulty level and same amount of effort is required, we assign 8. So the first number always will be reference point. That's why assigning the first number is very, very important. And a question. Now, let's say different team members like assign different numbers to each user story. Now what happens? Guys, for each user story, we devote 2 to 3 minutes, not more than that. Now, we ask the team member with the lowest assigned number for that user story. For example, for user story number 1, one of the team members assigned 3 and the other one assigned, for example, 21. And the others assigned, for example, that 8. Now, we need to come to consensus. We need to come to an agreement. We ask the lower number team member, hey, why did you assign 3? We ask them for ideas. Maybe he has a solution to do that user story faster, so it takes less time, less effort. Okay? We ask the team member that assigned 21, hey, why did you assign 21? Why do you think this user story takes lots of time? Okay, we discuss, and after all team members, all of those 3 or 12 or 7 team members need to agree on assigned number on story points. Okay, so user story number 1 takes 8 story points. User story number 2 takes 5. User story number 3 takes 5. Okay, this is the way planning poker works, guys. Now, you may say, okay, why is it important? Why knowing, for example, story points is important? Guys, you're going to learn about this why in the next part of scope management in adaptive projects in sprint planning, because the team works for 2 weeks for one sprint. In that sprint, okay, the team has limited capability, could do limited number of story points. Okay, for example, if the team's speed or velocity is 13 story points per sprint, in a sprint planning, we would know that, okay, now for the next sprint, the team could do US1 and US2 because 8 plus 5 is 13. So they could do 13 sprints, 13 story points. So they could focus on US1 and US2. And they cannot pull US3 because it is more than their capacity. See, that's why assigning story points is very, very important. Remember, guys, here consensus is key, okay? We don't average the numbers. No, we come to an agreement and consensus because at the end of the day, development team will need to develop and everybody needs to agree on the difficulty level and complexity of each user stories. So this was about planning poker. Before we get into other techniques that are there to estimate the efforts and come up with the story points, let's have a beautiful mini question and then continue. Let's get the mini question done together. All right, let's get this mini question done. You are a Scrum Master working with a cross-functional Agile team that recently began using planning poker to estimate upcoming backlog items. During the estimation session, a few team members keep adjusting their numbers after hearing others. One senior specialist insists that their estimate should outweigh the rest, and the product owner pushes for faster estimates because stakeholders want a forecast. Frustration is growing. What should you do first to ensure accurate and unbiased estimates? A. Ask the senior to explain their reasoning so the team can align with the most experienced viewpoint and finalize the estimation faster. B. Pause the session, remind the team to reveal numbers at the same time and reinforce neutral facilitation and restart planning poker round. C. Allow the product owner to drive the estimation session since they understand business prioritization and can guide the team to consensus. And D. Switch to a different estimation technique, for example, t-shirt sizing, to avoid conflict and speed up estimation. Wow. I love this question, guys. I love it. Very, very good question. And you will definitely, for people part of your performance domain, you're going to get something like this in your PMP exam. So there is a challenge. There is a frustration, guys. What exactly is the problem? The team, we're in a meeting, okay? The team is doing planning poker, estimating story points for each user story. Now, the team is just adjusting the numbers, okay? Like for user story number 1, one team member thought the initial number was 5. Now it is switching to 8. Like this is keep happening, okay? And one senior team member says, hey, my estimation is right. My idea need to outweigh. And you as a Scrum Master, you need to say, hey, senior team member, shut up. No, you shouldn't say shut up. But guys, this will happen in real life projects, okay? And here, you need to show your leadership skill, okay? You need to calm everyone, okay? There is a problem, calm everyone. Apply MIAT. Meet, we're meeting. Identify the problem. What's the problem? Identify the problem. Analyze the impact and then take some action. Guys, the problem is your team members does not know how planning poker works. They don't know, for example, for planning poker, when Scrum Master says, reveal your numbers, everybody needs to reveal at same time, simultaneously. And if there is one low and one very high numbers, those two need to talk. So there is a discipline, there is a procedure to run the ceremony. Guys, whatever events and meetings we have in Agile projects, these are called ceremonies. For example, planning poker ceremony, sprint planning ceremony, or sprint review ceremony, sprint retrospective ceremony. So all of the events in Agile projects are called ceremony, okay? You need to educate and teach your team on how planning poker works. They are apparently, based on the question, they don't know, okay? And let's go through the options. Option A says, ask the senior to explain their reasoning so the team can align with the most experienced viewpoint. No. Why? Senior's idea is more important. Senior can give some inputs, but asking, just getting this on the side of senior wouldn't help your project and will affect the team's psychological safety. Team will be like, okay, our scrum master or project manager wouldn't listen to us, cares about that senior experienced team member. So why would we even care about this project? You need to be neutral, guys. Every team member, the level of importance is same to you. Okay, you shouldn't have favorite one. So option A will be eliminated. Let's read the description. It encourages anchoring or bias. It violates planning poker fundamentals. Option B says, pause the session. Okay, taking your time. We are project manager. We don't act immediately. We take our time. Pause the session. Calm everyone. Okay. Remind the team to reveal numbers at the same time. So, hey, team members, okay? You shouldn't wait for others, for more experienced ones to reveal their numbers and then you adjust your numbers. No, everybody needs to reveal their numbers at the same time. You're educating. And then at the same time, reinforce neutral facilitation. You need to be neutral. You shouldn't take one party's side. And restart the planning poker round. So this round need to be restarted again because apparently there is a frustration going on. So we need to do it again. After education, you need to do it again. So option B so far is a good option. We wouldn't eliminate that. Option C, allow the product owner to drive the estimation session. Guys, once for all, product owner is the owner of product backlog. Everything that relates to development and estimation is with development team. Okay, so product owner has no say here. Product owner could clarify user stories, the backlog items, but cannot guide and drive the estimation session, the planning poker session. Just remember that. And option D, switch to a different estimation technique. So option D is not trying to resolve this current problem. Option D is removing the question entirely, like ignoring the question. It says, okay, switch the technique. No, there is a problem with this planning poker session. Try to resolve that session. Why do you want to? If you don't resolve the root cause, okay, same thing will happen in t-shirt sizing, for example, method. T-shirt sizing is another story point estimation method that we're going to cover soon. But same thing will happen again in that session. You need to try to resolve the root cause, okay? Let's read the description, guys. Option B reestablishes core planning poker rules, which is silent thinking plus simultaneous reveal that prevents bias. Okay, we think for 10 seconds and then we show the cards simultaneously. It addresses the root cause, which is inconsistent estimates stem from influence, pressure, and broken ceremony disciplines. It protects team autonomy. In Agile, the team estimate efforts, not the PO, not the stakeholders, not senior specialists. And please feel free to read the rest of the description. Now, let's continue and learn another story point or effort estimation techniques. Thanks for continuing, and with your beautiful smile, let's get it done, guys.